Hello everyone and welcome to Bigfoot and Real Estate Part 7. In this episode, we're going to be discussing the common home buying and selling faux pas to avoid. So sit back, listen in, and let's get started. Both buyers and sellers have their own unique ways of undermining the sales process, often without even realizing it. Here in this video are some of the most common faux pas that folks commit on each side of the transaction. I wanted to be fair, pick on a little bit, and give a little bit of advice for both buyers and sellers. That way you can be sure to avoid committing them when you're out and about looking at houses, hopefully with one of the top agents from the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Okay, the first one, and I label this bad buyers' behaviors. I get it. You feel like you're having some fun out there, a little silly, playful, when you're out looking at houses, and sometimes multiple houses. Oh, here's a little bit of advice. Prior to going out looking at houses, make sure that your agent prints out what we call the plano, or for lack of a better word, a sheet of paper on each property you're going to look at, so you can take notes while touring the property. In this day and age where there may be many recording devices, both audio and visual, it might be better just to take your notes as you're walking through each property on that sheet of paper, aka the plano. That way you don't forget everything that you looked at when viewing multiple houses all in one day. So that's a little side note, little gold nugget, piece of advice when you're touring properties. Because sometimes if you are out there and again having a good time touring properties, the process should be fun, and honestly we try to make it a good time. Much like if you're out in the woods exploring for Bigfoot or any other creatures that you're looking for, wildlife, birds, etc., it should be fun, but you always want to make sure you mind your P's and Q's, or you act appropriately depending on where you are. Most of you were probably too young to remember Smokey the Bear, but he always used to say, put out your fires, make sure they're out and extinguished so you don't, well, for a lack of a better term, burn down the woods, which we never want to happen. So you always want to follow protocol when, for example, lighting a campfire or when touring houses, because many times you may do something that will lead you to say or do things that you wouldn't otherwise do, and the behaviors that may come out of that tour could very easily be avoided and could hurt your home search process if the information falls into the wrong hands. So that being said, one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you would be being disrespectful of the property. You may think that the carpet is the ugliest color you've ever seen. You may want to poke around the medicine cabinet out of curiosity. You may be horrified at the lack of the updates in the kitchen or bathroom. Well, you may want to use this visit as an opportunity to take a good look at the property and discuss its features. You really don't want to disrespect the home or its owners, who again may, one way or another, be able to hear and or see what you're discussing. Treat the space as you would want potential buyers to treat your own home if it was for sale, and save the jokes for the car ride home or the meeting at the office with your agent. Allowing the children to play in the homes that you are viewing. Of course you want the whole family to be excited about your new home, but you need to be mindful of where your children are going and what they are doing when they are on tour. Well, they may want to see what might be their new bedroom. They shouldn't be playing with items in that room or crawling under the bed. They shouldn't be hiding in the closets or digging in the drawers or cabinets. You want to set appropriate boundaries by discussing the process and behavior ahead of time, so then everyone knows what is expected of them. Much like if you were going to go out in the woods to chase down or try to discover a 7 to 10 foot hairy beast, you want to make sure that everybody understands the rules and is as safe as possible so they enjoy the process. After all, that's what it's all about. Having fun and hopefully discovering something you didn't know or see before.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team here in the Valley of the Sun, Arizona. If you're thinking about buying, selling, renting, or investing, please reach out to me. All of my contact information could be found in the descriptions of our videos below, and we'd be more than happy to get you moving. As always, thank you for watching our videos and supporting our channel. Remember to keep a lookout for other links to videos that we think you'll enjoy.
Criticizing as a negotiation tactic. Some buyers think that by trashing the home, they can convince homeowners, aka sellers, that they should come down in price. However, this will likely cause them to take a hard line during negotiations, or perhaps not negotiate with you at all. Remember, while it's a transaction to you, it's still the seller's home, and they do not need to hear your thoughts on their decor or taste. Much like if you're in the woods looking for Bigfoot and come across something that could be their dwelling, there's no reason to put it down or say, how can they live like that? Or how can they sleep there? Or how can they eat this? They may be listening to everything you're saying, and you probably don't want to excite or upset a big hairy beast and their family while in their backyards. Using a home as a hangout spot, where you may have spent the day or evening or both looking at homes and feeling exhausted, please remember that the sellers may be sitting around the block in the car with their children and or pets, waiting patiently for your verdict, or for you to just leave so they can continue on with their life under their roof. Don't use your visit as a chance to lounge and chat, especially if you have no real interest in the property or this potential home. Instead, go back to your agent's office. By the way, ours are air conditioning in the Arizona sun, and there's always plenty of delicious refreshments. Not trying to bribe you, just trying to say that the quicker we can get through the tour and back to the office to discuss the homes that you are interested in, the better. A, everything's still sort of fresh in your brain, and we have notes on each property as I discussed earlier. But B, we're not sitting in the living room keeping the sellers waiting, well, perhaps listening on recording devices. It's a different day and age now, and especially in the market here in Arizona, usually you have between a 15 and 30 minute time frame to start and end your tour. So we always want to take advantage of seeing every property that's out there. Absolutely no rush for you to find your perfect dream home. However, while in the dream home or potential dream homes, we definitely want to take our notes, explore the best we can, but in a neat and orderly fashion, so then we can get back to business of finding you the perfect home. And there's no better place than to actually rest in the office of the agent, where we can pull up some of our statistical tools and tricks of the trade to show you what houses, again, back online with a computer in front of us, showing you what's what, and why this house may now be or not be the one that will be perfect for you after we can side by side compare all of the ones that you have viewed. Sometimes when you're on tour, as fast paced as it could be, and using this tip as not using the houses for hangouts, we definitely move as quickly as possible, again, so you can see everything in a timely manner, but we also want to make sure that you're not rushing one of the biggest purchases of your lives. This next one, making fun on social media, is one of the biggest do not do's that I can give you advice on. Well, I believe you're safe from Bigfoot ever discovering what you post online. It still is one of the worst things you can do when you visit a home, which might be to take a chance to try out your new comedy routine for friends and followers on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the other wonderful social media devices that are out there. Not only is it rude, there's a chance that your comments could get back to the sellers if you have any type of common acquaintances with them. Besides, causing anger and hurt feelings in your comments could jeopardize the chances of them selling their home to you, or it may put you in a lower position in any negotiations should you submit a contract. I guess what I'm saying is try to be as kind as possible, and if you have something that you discovered on the tours of your property, keep them amongst yourself or in a tight group personally and to yourself. That way, nobody is upset at what you did or didn't accidentally say or did or didn't accidentally post online. We all know how that's going to turn out. And when you're looking for a house, you definitely don't want to put yourself in a bad way. In fact, you want to do quite the opposite. You want to put yourself in every possible positive position you can, so the sellers would be more than happy to hand you over the keys after accepting payment to the house that you selected to be your perfect place to live. Just took a sip of delicious coffee from my favorite Bigfoot mug. And here it is, for those doubters. Okay, so far you're saying to yourself, well, this is some great advice on buyers' information as what not to do when touring properties, but what about sellers? Well, sellers also have slip-ups. Sometimes they make their own mistakes when preparing or showing their homes. So let's watch out for these common errors in judgment to preserve the value of the home that you want to sell. On that note, if you're thinking about listing your house for sale here in the Valley of the Sun, please see the first comment below. It has a link that'll take you to our seller's request form. From there, we can send you a free, no obligation home property report, which will give you a snapshot of what your house is worth and what we do when we list a property. It also contains my information, so should you want to ask questions about the process, feel free to do so, as that's what it's all about. Us helping you with what we're good at and getting you top dollar as fast as possible, if that is your burning desire. Okay, the first one, failing to prepare for showings. Maybe you're tired of cleaning up before showings and hiding your toothbrush every morning. Maybe you've had a bad day at work and were just getting ready to relax. Maybe your favorite TV show is about to start, or you were just settling in for a nap. If you want to get your home sold, it is important for you to make sure it is always in buyer-ready showing condition. So whenever you say yes to a showing, don't expect buyers and or their agents to overlook a messy kitchen or bathroom and give you the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, they won't. I think I heard something about first impressions somewhere. Previously, I mentioned it wasn't a good idea for buyers to hang out in homes that they're touring. On the flip side, it's not wise for sellers to stick around during showings. Staying in the house either because you don't feel like going out or because you don't trust people in your home is a major turnoff to potential buyers. Now, if you're in the woods snooping around, I'm quite sure Bigfoot's going to be watching everything you do, and I can't blame them. But for us humans, when we're purchasing properties, or in this case, you're trying to sell yours, it makes potential buyers very uncomfortable, and it ensures you that they're going to spend less time in your home, which is bad news for you if you're trying to get it sold. So take a walk around the neighborhood, drive to your favorite restaurant, or perhaps ask a friendly neighbor if you can come over and sit with them while buyers are touring your home. Boy, oh boy, is this one a classic. Playing used car salesman for buyers. One of the things that buyers hate the most, trust me on this, is having homeowners show them the home's best features. It puts buyers in a position of having to ooh and ah like dinner guests instead of evaluating the home and discussing it with each other privately. You may think that only you understand how great your house is. If that's true, what we'll need to do, we being agents if hired to list your property, is explain to you how important staging is and have it always at the ready for buyers, which will ensure that the agents that are bringing buyers to the property can easily and effectively point out the home's best features and get your house sold based on all of the beautiful amenities it has on display. I wonder to myself, if Bigfoot had a home, what would be their showing features or what they would like to showcase. I often wonder that to myself. If Bigfoot does have a home, do they actually have couches? I'm quite sure they don't have electronics, but I bet running water close to their living room or perhaps a built-in fireplace would definitely be a perk if a Bigfoot was in the market for a Bigfoot house. Just something to think about. As I'm sure many of you know, there's different TV programs out for discovering Bigfoot. Some seem very scientific in the method they go about it. Others, not so much. I saw one where they were just running around in the woods, yelling and banging on trees with sticks. I'm not quite sure that's the most effective way to complete the mission. Which brings me into the last point on this video. Toying with buyers to test the market. This typically doesn't happen that much here anymore in the Valley of the Sun, as we can offer what's known as a coming soon package, which I'd be more than happy to explain to you. All of my contact information can be found below in the description, so feel free to reach out and we can talk the talk. However, some people like the idea of listing their home as a way of seeing how buyers will respond, but have no real intention of selling the home, at least not right away. This is typically unfair to an agent and more so to buyers who are seriously looking for their next home or who have spent money to travel and home search before relocating to the area. My best advice is bring on the help of an agent, be it looking to buy a property or to sell a property. In either case, they can give you the information needed to make your best next move. Okay. That's the end of Bigfoot and Real Estate Part 7. Take care. Talk to you next time.